There's no good way, okay? Because if you're a business, even you're profitable and like you're going to use debt as a leverage, you know. So you're going like still going to borrow to make investment, anything like. Sure, if you pay your groceries with that, that's bad, you know. But basically, every business will need to use debt as a leverage to move forward. When you jump with software, okay, as a dev, it's like if I have all the time in the world to make everything clean, everything commented, everything documented, like would be a like perfect world. No? That's not the world we have. No? So what happens is when you start a project, it's mostly like you're going to have technical debt. I'm sorry, like that's going to happen. If it, like you get the best programmer, you get Bill Gates and Steve Jobs, well, not Steve Jobs, but sorry, but like you know, you get all the best people, it's still going to happen, because to like for budget constraint, for like the feature you want to develop, for the client, your market, whatever, you're going to have some time to push forward, and it's a matter of like how much technical debt can you tolerate to put in your project, and try to not like drown yourself with that. You know, like for sure, if you're like, okay, guys, we have to deliver this, perfect. You get the dev team making a big effort for 1-2 weeks. Okay, let's put that live. You know, when that's on production, perfect. You push that. Okay, that's done. Remember, like once that's done, don't jump on the next crunch and next emergency and next fire for like the next 6 months over and over again, because you're not going to keep control on technical.
Well, that's
you
the
know?
thing, yeah.
It's about keeping control of that. Like your house, like you start borrowing for a car, for like everything, and you get yourself out of control, that's when bad things happen. If you're able, like as a, I don't know what your job is, but like as a marketing person, as owner, business owner, whoever it is, if you say, okay, let's push forward, then pay back that debt to at some point. You know, like refactor the stuff, take a dev, just like, hey, we did some bad things in that file, and just go clean that up. You know, like
there's a thing I keep. Well, okay, that's my belief in non-scientific or scientific belief. For every 75% of new feature development, you need to spend 25% of refactoring and adapting, and
exactly.
And that is a problem too, because for most people they believe it's just an expense, right?
Yeah, but like at some point, for sure you can tolerate that for like maybe 1 year, 2 years. At some point, it's going to be unbearable. But
it's catching you up.
Yeah, and you're not going to feel it right away, especially if you're not like in the dev team. The dev team going to like, hey man, that's this broken, this is like, and then at some point just like, hey, we're not reaching our deadline, everything is so slow, it's been 2 months, we did that, and like what's happening, and then you think, oh, the dev are not good. What? No, it's because that debt is becoming too big.
Multiple times we saw clients in the past years that were not refactoring along the way. And in order to just adapt and refactor just in a way to make it stable, actual, would take 2-3 months of work.
Yeah, because it's going to accumulate with interest. The more you borrow,
The longer you wait, the bigger the cost is, and bigger the interest.
Well, it's understandable too. You know, if you have a business owner and you push live, you push the prod, all his dreams are online and working properly. You got to go knocking on his door and say, by the way, that's all broken. You know, there's things that are propped up with sticks and cards and everything. We got to go back and spend maybe well, it's all relative, but we got to go back and spend around 25% of the time that we've already spent.
Yeah.
So if you spent 100 hours, you got to spend 24 more hours just going there and cleaning up. Yeah, I guess if it's explained properly.
And it's good in a way, because like for e-commerce, for example, you're live, you're making money, people are going to check out, they're paying stuff, they're buying stuff, you know, like it's just important at that point. Let's say you do a big push to put something live to production, perfect. You had some shortcut, that's understandable. You have some deadline to meet, and you have to push this on production. But then once when it's live, remember that you have some debt that you have to pay back. You know, like you just bought a house. If you open a business, a shop just down on the street, you know, like you are going to invest first. But after some while, you have to pay the bank after that. You know, like
No, I want my new features.
That is the
I want
problem.
more features.
That is the problem. A lot of
Yeah.
people, when they get the new features, get so excited they want to move on the next
Yeah.
ones without taking a step back and say, okay, what do I have to fix in order to get my next one properly, and not get that debt that in 6 months I'm going to have to spend 2 months in refactoring.
And then
Or
when you
rebuild.
change developers in a year, that new developer takes a look and says, wow, this
Jesus
is terrible,
Yeah.
right? This is horrible. What they don't know is that they were never, the original developer was never given a chance to go back and,
Yeah.
and clean up.
And
Okay,
do-
that's a good one.
yeah. And
Sorry,
That's a
just
great
before,
question.
on our own ERP, we spent over 6,000 hours on it.
Yeah,
On which there's probably 1,500 that is just refactoring, fixing,
Yeah.
revisiting.
That's great.
And that's what Nick has been
Updating,
forcing me once in a while, would stop me and say, look, I know you want this feature, but here's 12 tickets that I really like to get rid of before we tackle this
Yeah.
next feature.
yeah.
And I also add just like if you do a feature, like do a postmortem, monitor that feature. I saw so many times I see people like pushing features like a feature factory. And so sure, you're making feature, but like, are they working? Are they making you money? How much you spend on it? And then are you getting something back in return? Because I saw some that just like, they think like once that feature is done, we need more work, you know, like they feel like they've done something and they want to fill their work time, you know, the schedule, and they want to push more feature, and just at some point, hey, take a step back. Are they working?
Yeah.
No,
You know what you make me think? Is that it's almost as if you're going to develop a big feature or do a big sprint, that you should account for that 20-25% of time for refactoring in it. So if it's going to be a 3-month sprint or 2-month sprint or whatever feature, then you had some times, you know, it's almost as if it should be included. So, okay, yeah, we're going to do this, we're going to deliver it, but also we include 2 weeks of revisiting what we've done, you know, refactoring some of the code, and that would make sense this way.
and also like if just doing a postmortem and knowing if that feature work or not, and you say, hey, you know, like our sales are up like 10%, for example. Share that with the dev team. Honestly, just like so they know they're working on some things like, oh, that works.
brings
you know?
result, yeah.
No, we're seeing some results, something like that, just so people are aware of and knowing which feature work. And it doesn't matter if a feature doesn't work, as long as you learn from
Yeah,
it.
because they have nothing to cheer on. Like they have
Yeah.
nothing to celebrate about.
But so, yeah, it's just like, and if you try to take time to understand how the feature, those who succeed, how it happened,
Yeah.
those who fail, how it happened, learn from that. No, just learn from that, and so the next feature, you're going to be more prepared and more like the better way to just push the next feature and have success with that feature. It's better to do one good feature than 3 that doesn't do anything.
Yeah.